Hi, I'm head teacher of St Benedict's High School, which is in Renfrewshire. The school itself has about 750 pupils, and it's in an unusual situation. It's only been open for 2 years. It's an amalgamation of two schools previously, which were St Brendan's and St Cuthbert's High School. Columba unit is now housed within St Benedict's High School, and it was previously part of the St Cuthbert's School, so it's something which I'm very proud to be associated with and head teacher of the unit, because in my own view it really is inclusion at its best.
Well, the Columba unit is a base for children with autistic spectrum disorders. The children that come to our base don't necessarily have to have a diagnosis of autistic spectrum disorder, they just need to have a pattern of needs indicative of an autistic spectrum disorder. The children that come to the Columba base are children that should be in a mainstream setting, should be able to access the curriculum in a mainstream setting, but they would need maybe some support to break down those barriers of communication. So we can have kids in the Columba base that would be in the mainstream 99% of the time and just brought down here to address their communication difficulties, or they could be in the mainstream half the time and half in the Columba base, where in the Columba base we would, I said, address the communication difficulties but also give them extra tutorials in the subjects in the main part of the school, because one of the biggest difficulties for our youngsters is their processing can be very slow, so the pace in a mainstream can be too quick for some of our youngsters to take in, so we would use that time for reinforcement and consolidation. Generally we have our admission panel in February or March before the August intake. We then identify our children, and at that stage we know where they are in their curriculum, in the national testing, we know their difficulties, we know their barriers for learning, and from that we then build up a profile with their teachers, with the parents and with the child themselves, and that we share that information with the mainstream staff and in the school that we're in.
I'm a support assistant in the Columba base for children that are got autistic spectrum conditions. My main role is to actually support the children in the mainstream and in the base and in social situations.
Our youngsters have a totally different relationship with our classroom assistants than they do with the teaching staff, because the classroom assistant for them has to be at times be their friend, their translator, their interpreter of those social situations.
It depends on the child as to what kind of support that they get. I mean, that can vary from day to day and subject to subject. The children can become very anxious, so one of our main roles is to actually keep the anxiety levels down, put structures in place, strategies for them to be comfortable to come to us.
The aims of the unit is to develop the potential of each individual child who is coming into the unit, and also I think it's to prepare them academically, but it is looking at all aspects of their development. One of the most impressive things, I think, is the personalisation of each child's curriculum within the unit. It really is very focused on the child's development, what's appropriate to the child. And given the nature of some of the specific needs that the children have, we have, as well as dealing with their curricular needs, the unit caters also for their social needs. In terms of developing their social skills, their knowledge of the world about them.
You've got to consider your relationship with the person. It's okay for your mum to say to you, I think you need to go back upstairs and clean your teeth, or your hair's looking a bit of a disaster this morning. But if a friend was to say it to you, or somebody that you didn't know very well,
our children find it difficult to interact normally with other children, so these skills are taught, and that's why we need the professional, the health speech and language therapist comes in every week and works with the Columba base staff to teach these children the skills that they would need to be fully included in a mainstream setting. Training is offered termly to mainstream staff. They're invited to come down to the Columba base so that we give them a basic understanding of the autistic spectrum disorders. But that's not the important thing. Yes, you need to have that basic understanding of what autistic spectrum disorders are, but the main thing is knowing the child.
Well, first and foremost, I have to be aware of each and every individual pupil coming from the support base and what their needs are, and use my experience to help accommodate the needs of those pupils. And very, very quickly, I am so impressed at how these pupils then embed into the classroom situation, and to me are very, very much part of the mainstream. And I do feel that the staff in the unit are so approachable, and it is an open door policy, not just for pupils but for staff in the mainstream, to be able to come down and say, look, can you give me a bit of advice about etc., etc. So I feel it's open door throughout the whole school.
It's an open door policy. Anybody in the mainstream can come down to the base during lunchtime and during break. I think it's important the mainstream children come to the bases because it integrates the base into the mainstream, and it lets the mainstream children get to know the base children and the base children get to know the mainstream. And it's a very informal place. It encourages the social interaction. It gets the children to know each other. I think the base sets up the situation where friendships can be made, long-lasting friendships that last out with the school.
I think that it's important my child's included in a mainstream school with mainstream pupils because he has the potential to fulfil. He academically can take mainstream exams and the likes. And I think when he's with children in a mainstream base, they will also bring him on. Also socially, I think it's very important that he's included and he's made to feel part of the bigger community. And I think that he does learn from them. So I think it's very important within a mainstream school.
Parents are involved in the Columba unit. We have a strong working partnership with our parents in the Columba unit, and I think when parents felt they are being listened to and their concerns are taken seriously, then the focus is always to move on and find solutions, and I think we have that with our parents. I think that is one of the strongest aspects of the Columba base and St Benedict's High School, that their parents have great confidence that we are certainly meeting the needs of their children.
I think that the Columba base in St Benedict's High School is excellent because mainly it's staff. The staff are superb. The staff obviously have the training and the experience to know how to deal with any problem that arises. They just make the child's school life so much easier, and therefore as a parent make our life so much easier.
In terms of the curriculum for excellence, I feel that the unit meets the requirements for the 4 principles extremely well.
One of the things that we say that we want for our youngsters, the thing we really want for them is to feel safe, and that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to create an environment that these youngsters can come in and feel safe, because only then can you go on and then help them, enable them to become successful learners, confident individuals, effective contributors. It's the only time you can do that when they feel safe and happy.